Hello everyone, today is my honor to present our paper, Review, Retrieval-Augmented Visual Language Pre-Training with MultiSource Multimodal Knowledge Memory. The goal of Review is to allow a visual language model having access to diverse outside knowledge sources. For example, by asking which United States president is associated with its teddy bear toy. Different knowledge sources are helpful, including unstructured Wikipedia with images, as well as structured knowledge graph such as Wikidata. The key challenge is that we don't have direct supervision about which entries are the ground truth knowledge to each Kai-Wei pairs. We thus propose to train the whole Retrieval-Augmented VLM over unlabeled datasets. By taking the complex caption from these datasets, for example, identifying that this image is associated with Teddy Roosevelt, the model is guided to retrieve the relevant knowledge via end-to-end pre-training. Before introducing the details of review, let me try to convince you why we need this explicit retrieval. Although recent large-scale models show to cover a lot of word knowledge, these knowledge are implicitly stored in the network parameters, and thus they lack the coverage to many long-tail knowledge and hard to interpret model decision, and also hard to adapt to new or modified knowledge. Similar issues also happen for visual language tasks that require outside knowledge. For example, in OKVQA dataset, we can ask the question like, which part of meal has most carbohydrates? This kind of question not only requires to detect the objects in the scene, but also many diverse knowledge, such as the factor common sense that the rice as a staple food contains the carbohydrates. Most of the current visual language models take the multimodal data as input, send them through multiple layers of transformers, and generate one or multiple modalities as the output. We are investigating the model that uses outside memory that the model can access and look up to perform the task of interest. In today's presentation, we will first discuss how we encode multiple datasets into a single unified memory through representation learning. We then introduce how we conduct end-to-end training of both the retrieval and the visual language model. Last, we introduce our experimental results of how the explicit retrieval training helps solving visual language tasks. We aim to utilizing a diverse set of knowledge sources into a single unified memory that could be used for retrieval. A naive solution for encoding the memory is to keep a whole sequence of the tokens for each knowledge item. This approach is very hard to scale for hundreds of millions of knowledge items, as each value consists of hundreds of tokens, and during the fusions, the transformer encoder has a quadratic complexity with respect to the total number of tokens. Therefore, we propose to use the perceiver architecture to encode and compress the knowledge items. This perceiver model uses a transformer decoder to compress the full token sequence into an arbitrary length. This lets us to retrieve top K memory items for K as large as 100. We could then iteratively encode each item into a key value lookup memory, and then unify all different datasets knowledge into a unified memory. We then introducing the workflow of review, focusing on how we conduct end-to-end training. Here, we first start introducing the most standard image-to-text workflow. Taking the image caption from Wikipedia as an example, we first extract a unimodal image and text feature via a VR encoder, and then we fuse the two modality via a neural fusion layer and pass them to the decoder. Without outside knowledge, the model needs to generate the Ziniu species given only the image as input, which is very hard as the model parameters is less capability to memorize so much real entities. Therefore, in the forward pass, we allow the model to get access to our constructed unified memory. As the model parameters keep changing, we update the memory asynchronized via the pre-training. We then conduct the on-TPU MIP stance retrieval for getting the approximate top K results. We calculate the retrieval score by first deciding which corpus to use via a corpus gating, and then dot product each query embedding with all key embeddings stored in the unified memory. Through MIPS operation, we could efficiently get the top K index without enumerating all items. Given the retrieved top K knowledge, We multiply each with the retrieval score calculated within these key entries, and then we fuse them into a neural fusion layers to get the final answers. The key to facilitate end-to-end training of retrieval is to identify which knowledge entry is mostly useful for solving the tasks. We propose an attentive fusion layer by injecting the retrieval score via dot product between the query and the key embeddings as a prior during attention calculation. This structure is instrumental in enabling the memory, encoder, retrieval, and the generator to be concurrently trained in the end-to-end fusion. After pre-training, we could froze the learned knowledge memory and the base via encoder, and only fine-tune the fusion and the decoder part for various knowledge-intensive downstream tasks, such as vision question and image capturing tasks. We evaluate and review on knowledge-based visual language question answering tasks, such as OKVQA and AOKVQA. We fine-tune our pre-trained model on the VQA tasks use the same generative objective where the model is pre-trained on. We demonstrate that review achieves better results on OKVQ datasets than earlier attempts that incorporate a fixed knowledge or that works that utilizing large language model as an implicit knowledge source. As an example, when predicting which airline belongs to this flight, we could use the retrieved knowledge and their caption to identify the correct answer as the Air Canada. Here, we show more examples where review helps the downstream tasks. For example, in the first row, we show that the model retrieves the city of San Francisco and their bus system to correctly answer the question which type of a bus can be found in the popular city, San Francisco. Review is also helpful for image capturing tasks and retrieve better results than many strong visual language model baselines. Here, we also show an experiment that a review could faster adapt to new knowledge. We all know that one limitation of a fixed pre-trained model is that they only memorize the knowledge collected in the past and cannot answer the question about recently happened events or the news. On the other hand, fine-tuning these large models on new data is very expensive. We here show that retrieval could help such adaptation. We first remove a certain percentage of knowledge during the fine-tuning and then add them back. Results shows that even if we remove 80% of the knowledge, the model still achieves comparable performance when these knowledge are added back during inference without changing the model parameters. This shows the advantage of retrieval for handling new or modified knowledge. As a summary, we present a retrieval-augmented visual language models. Review contains a knowledge retrieval that learns to utilize a diverse set of knowledge sources with different modalities. We train review on a massive image text corpus in end-to-end manner. Thanks for listening.